where you belong. Give it strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Rise, rise, keep on rising, rise, rise.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's Newcastle United trip to Goodison Park preview. My name is Paul. I'm joined tonight by Alex and, of course, Billy Bob. Thank you very much for tuning in, folks. As usual, if you do enjoy tonight's show, hit that thumbs up for us. Very, very important we keep those coming in so we can continue for the channel to grow. And, of course, if you are new, please do hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. But don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And, of course, as usual, you can support the channel in both two ways. You can support it by membership, which is the join button underneath myself and the guys. And, of course, super chats are available. That's the $ underneath the live comments. And, of course, that will also guarantee your comment to be read out live on the show. And, of course, keep your votes coming in for the Football Content Awards 2024. That is pinned just near the top of the description. Keep voting for us, guys. We need your votes more than ever this year to try and come away with some sort of an award. So thank you very much for everybody that has voted so far. But please keep at it as we do need your votes. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening to everybody.
So we didn't do a
hang on a minute. What about Viewerland, Billy?
Yes, you haven't said Viewerland. What is happening to you, Billy Trey?
I just noticed the Mackham ladies have taken the lead against Sheffield United ladies. It put me off my stride a bit.
Okay. Is it cold down in Cov tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it is everywhere. But anyway, it is, of course, Everton at the weekend. But we didn't do a review on the Wimbledon game simply because we did think that the War Lashes show was going to take place, but that's next week now. Aaron was away and Sam had work duties, of course. So Tuesday night is the best night for them to do the show. So it will be back on Tuesday night. Now, fellas, you know how we're compiling all these player ratings for performances this season. Should we quickly go through player ratings for the Wimbledon game?
If you like.
Because I need to update the spreadsheet, and of course we haven't got player ratings now. Obviously, we'll not discuss this much. We'll just go through player ratings, guys, because we'll sort of touch on it during the show. I'm sure anyway. Right, let's just make a list here. Okay, so Dubravka played the first half, so I suppose we've got to mark him. Bill.
Oh, I'll give him a 5. I thought he should have gone off as soon as he got himself injured. He didn't do anything else. Had nothing to do. Yeah. But the fact he got himself injured, he got injured.
Yeah.
And then refused to come off the pitch, tried to walk off an injury that made him come off at half time. I think he should have just bit the bullet and said, look, I can hardly walk here. I think you should take me off. Yeah, so just absolutely. For that alone, I'll give him a 5.
I'll give him a 5 as well. Alex?
Yeah, 5. We'll go right in the middle.
Okay. Okay, who played right back? I'm trying to think. That's how important. That's how good the performance, the match was. There's some comments coming already saying, is Sam not with you guys anymore? Yes, she is. She's just got a very intense job at the moment, so she can't do certain days. She will be back on TTR Friday tomorrow, though. So Sam will be back then. She's got a very, very busy job at the minute. So obviously that comes first. So, yeah, she's still with us. Don't worry about that. Okay, Livermento, Billy.
Steady away, wasn't it? They didn't really attack much. He got forward quite a bit. I don't think he was great, and neither was he poor. So I'll give him a 6.
6. Alex?
Not his sort of game, really. But yeah, he didn't really do much wrong. He got a lot of the ball, 122 touches. I mean, it's going to be a similar reading for most of the players, to be fair.
Yeah.
Could have done with maybe just a better passing range and little bit more quality would have meant we didn't need, it didn't work particularly well. I'll go with a 7, but we needed a bit more oomph from him potentially.
All right, now starting the match was Kelly at left back, Billy.
Yeah, but I'm going to mark him for the whole game. It was okay. His passing was pretty poor first half, I thought. Second half, he went into centre back and thought he was excellent there. Looked calm and composed. Read the game really well at centre half, actually. So I'll give Lloyd Kelly a 7.5.
7.5. I've gone for a straight 7. Alex?
Straight 7. Agree. 5 out of 8 aerial duels is good. He dealt with any threats. Well, not that there was much of a threat, and he was okay. Again, there's not a lot of rating the centre halves in this game apart from the one he scored. So yeah.
Fabian Schär, Billy?
8 out of 10. Scored the winning penalty. Excellent penalty it was. Wasn't really hassled at all defensively. But yeah, captain's performance and scored the winning goal. So I'll give him an 8.
I've gone 8.5. I thought his passing, some of the through balls he played was superb, especially first half, but none of them converted, unfortunately. Alex?
I'm going to give him a 9. He's the highest rated player on SofaScore. He wore the armband. He scored us the winning goal. 17 out of 20 long balls as well, which is a phenomenal stat for a game. Of course, it's slightly inflated by the fact that Wimbledon just didn't get the ball at all. But 17 long balls is crazy. So yeah, I'm going to give Schär.
Okay. Emil Kraft, Bill.
His usual steady performance, wasn't it? I like the way he got forward second half as well as a right back. I thought he played quite well as a right back. I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I've gone 7.5 as well for Kraft. Billy? Sorry, Alex?
I'll go 7. I can't go any higher than that. He was really solid, but again, we needed a little bit more. But you can't always ask your centre halves to be the ones to be unlocking the door. That's not fair. But yeah, 7.
Longstaff, Billy.
Didn't really look anything out of the ordinary, to be honest, against a League Two side. 1 or 2 really poor moments for him. I'll give him a 5.5.
5.5. I've given him a 4. I thought he was dreadful, considering the opponents. I just thought he was terrible. Alex?
I'm going to go with a 5, but I think that's generous as well. 1 out of 6 ground duels against League Two opposition isn't good enough for a Premier League quality player. Couple of really, again, it's every match we get that funny half space run into the box that's great. It just never, since PSG, it's not done anything for us. It's such a clever run and it just never ends up in a goal or anything. It's so frustrating. We needed him to step up with obviously no creators in that first half, and he didn't. 5.
Yeah. Joe Linton, Billy.
No. Yeah, he's okay. 6.
I've gone 6.5. There was nothing extraordinary from him, but Alex?
I think 6 is a fair score. He was okay, but again, his game isn't playing super intricate, delicate 1-2s and unlocking that defense. Not really his sort of game. We'd have liked to maybe have him do something in defensive set pieces. 6. Expected maybe a little bit more from Joe Linton, to be fair.
Okay. Joe Willock, Billy?
Didn't really get in the game much, I didn't think. Considering we had most of the possession, I think I expected a little bit more from him, actually. I'll give him a 5.5.
5.5. I've given him a 5. Exactly the same reasons for you, Billy. I thought he didn't play a big part in the game. Had a big opportunity, Joe Willock, and didn't stand out. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this when we were doing, I think it was half time. Really not Joe Willock's kind of game. No space to run into. I liked he was trying a few things. He was trying to move the ball a bit quicker. He was one of the only ones trying to get a bit more zip into our play around their box. but didn't really happen for him specifically, despite the intent. I like the intent, but again, 2 out of 6 ground duels as well. It's League Two. That's 3 out of 12 ground duels between Willock and Longstaff combined. You got to be better if you want to start in our midfield. It's got to be better than that. I'll go with a 5. But I do appreciate he was trying to make a few things happen. It's just really not the sort of game that suits Joe Willock at all.
Yeah. Chipper says, I think Tuesday night made Eddie's mind up pretty easy for Saturday's team selection. Yeah, you're not wrong. Right, let's move to the front three. Harvey Barnes, Billy.
Yes, a lot of intent. Again, not really his game. Did some nice stuff. I'll give him a 6.5.
6.5. I've given him a 6. I thought he was trying. He tried a few things, a few shots. Looked lively, but obviously only played 45. Alex?
I'd like to go with a 7, but I think that's too generous. I'm going to bop it down to a 6.5.
Okay.
He only misplaced 1 pass all game, but 29 out of 30 passes. But again, the 3 crosses and several shots, it just wasn't quite there for him. Again, it's only 1 half, but yeah, 6.5.
Okay. Miggy Almiron, Billy.
I thought he was our best player. I will give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was threatening. I thought he showed the right attitude for the game. I thought he was one of his, probably definitely our best player. I'll give him an 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
No, make it an 8. Make it an 8 because 8.5 is too generous. Sorry.
Okay. I've gone for a 7. I thought he was lively. Definitely wanted to be on the ball, but again, just the finishing product's just not there, is it? I think we come to accept that from Miggy. That one when he's through and he blasted over the bar. That is just typical of Miggy. But listen, a lot of intent there. Wanted the ball a lot, which was good to see. So I've given him a 7. Alex?
I'm going to go with a 7.5.
Yeah,
because he won the penalty. I think 7.5 is super generous from me, and I almost feel bad for giving it. But again, both wingers completed 0 crosses that game. We did not find a black and white head once from any cross.
Previous games we've been saying, can someone put a striker on so we can cross the ball? And when we do put a striker in,
we've done this for ages. We used to do this when Chris Wood played for us. We would suddenly take Chris Wood off and we'd start crossing the ball and we'd all go, what's going on here? It was bizarre. But Miggy, I wasn't quite as impressed as Billy was. I liked the zip and the energy and the quick.
I can see where Billy's coming from. He was a standout player because he got on the ball a lot and he wanted it and he wanted to try.
But I think Willock did exactly the same, though. I think Willock and Miggy both tried to run about and do some quicker passing and move the ball.
I think Miggy was in the game more than Willock, though. I think he was in the game more.
A little bit, which is why I've scored Miggy more. But yeah, I think both can be said.
Okay. Asula, Bill?
Some nice movement. Didn't really use him enough. I don't think he really got a lot of service. Some really nice movement. Disappointed he chickened out a 150-50 challenge. Yeah. But aside from that, his movement was good. Wasn't really in the game. I'll give him a 6.5.
6.5. Again, I've gone for a 6. I want to see some. We want to see crosses coming to see what he's like in the air, challenging and trying to get ahead on things. But it wasn't to be. Alex.
I'm going to go with a 6. And I agree. I think we didn't give him enough chances. We sign a tall striker like that with physicality, energy, intent, and we across 90 minutes complete. Well, okay, the 2 wingers that started the game didn't complete any crosses for him. That's unacceptable. I don't care if you're playing with inverted wingers. Everybody tried a cutback and a cross. It's not good enough for Osula. That's not on him. Really raw, super raw. Couldn't quite get his timing and shots, but you can see there's so much potential there. You can see exactly why they've signed him. The pace, power. He's got all of the right ingredients. It reminds me of a similar situation to what Gordon was in a couple of years ago. It doesn't mean it's going to work, but he's got all the right ingredients, and I'm really excited if we can refine him and get him firing because he looks like he could be quite dangerous.
He looks like a young Tammy Abraham, doesn't he?
Yeah, kind of build. Yeah,
I think he's got a bit more.
A little spin and shot he did was brilliant, but we didn't see that.
Sean says, lads, you're all great and always have been. However, this wasn't his sort of game. Don't wash with me. These are Premier League players. It's their aptitude that should overcome that. Just saying.
It doesn't
everyone's
have
got
to
their
wash
opinion.
No, it doesn't have
it's
to
his
wash
opinion. It's
But
his
it's not
opinion.
out of context. You're just blanketly saying that. It doesn't matter if it's your opinion. Whether it's League
does.
2, League 1, Championship, or Premiership. If people play a low block and put 11 men behind the ball, that's what happens. It's always going to be a different and slight, limited space. It's a different game. And if people's skill set, but it's wrong. I don't care.
Well, to you it's wrong, but to him it's right.
No. Things can be black and white. If you've got a player that's quality, is running into space and in behind, and you're playing 11 men behind the ball, low block, that changes it for you. It doesn't matter if you're a Premier League player.
I agree with you. I agree, but I'm just saying it's his.
And Marco, you can say, no, not everybody's got their right to their own opinion, because if you say the sky is not blue, you are wrong. Sometimes facts are facts and you've got to accept that. Sometimes it's not just an opinion. We've gone too woke with this. There is allowed to be a right and a wrong. There absolutely is, in my opinion.
It's clear to see what Alex has had for his tea.
I want facts. I'm sorry, we're not just going to say, everybody can be right. Let's play.
Well, no, I didn't say everybody can be right. This is everyone is entitled to an opinion, whether it's right or wrong. Anyway, Bruno, Billy.
Yeah, I thought he played really well when he came on.
Mm-hmm.
Took the captain's armband, and I think he gave a leadership performance. I'll give him it's only on for half, so I'll give him a 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, I've gone for a 7.5 as well. I thought he commanded the game again, and we looked better. Bruno, Alex.
Better, decent. I'll go with a 7.5 because we didn't really unlock it. But you could see somebody like him is what we needed with a technician. We needed some more passing and like reverse passes and little dinks and quicker. He was doing everything. It's what you need. You need a technician in a game like that to try and unlock a low block. And it didn't quite work. He got 45 minutes, but he was still positive.
Billy.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do, no saves to make or anything like that, but I was quite impressed with his starting positions, his ability with his feet. Yeah, so I'll give it 6.5.
6.5. I've gone with a 6. I liked what I saw from his actual, distribution. He looked very confident. Alex?
Difficult to rate. There wasn't really.
He is because he had nothing to do. But I'm going off what he did when he had the ball. Just his general.
Yeah. I mean, I gave Dubravka a 5, and I preferred Vlaco Dimos in goal, so I'm going to give him a 6. And he looked fine. Didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Anthony Gordon, Billy.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed what he did. He stretched them, which was something that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Whether he was successful doing it or not, I'm not quite sure. He'd get kicked a bit. I'll give him a 6.5.
I've gone for a 7. For similar reasons, really. I mean, he did get kicked around a little bit. Alex?
I'm going to give him a 7. I liked what Gordon did when he came on. He got an accurate long ball and 2 accurate crosses and a key pass. He was trying to make things happen. He tried to either get to the byline or cut back and play across. He understood we needed to try and get somebody on the end of a cross. He was being a little bit cleverer with that. Dare I say, playing as one of a more experienced player, despite still only being 23. Which is crazy. It just shows the kind of head he's got on his shoulders. But yeah, I really liked Anthony Gordon's performance.
Now, I believe there was only Dan Burn who came on after that. Am I right?
Yeah, right at the end.
Have we done Lewis Hall?
Lewis Hall came on, didn't he?
No, Lewis Hall, yeah.
62nd minute for Craft. So we got...
When did Burn come on?
Right near the end,
90th.
wasn't it?
Yeah, 90th minute.
All right. So we'll not score him, eh? It's pretty pointless scoring Dan Burn, isn't it? Unless we just go sixes.
Did he do anything? He one clearance, 6 touches on the ball.
Yeah, 6 touches, yeah.
I mean, 6 touches. 10. Does he get... Should we just go 6s for Dan Burn? Yeah. Okay, and Lewis Hall, Billy.
Well, he's good against the low block because he's got so much technical ability. He puts an extra man in the attacking third of the pitch. But apart from that, he didn't really do a lot. You can see he's a great player. He really is. I'll give him a 6.5.
6.5. I've gone for a 6. Alex?
I will go for a 6.5. Again, I think we do set a high bar nowadays, because I think we're assessing fullbacks as attackers as well as defenders, which I think is always a bit harsh.
Yeah. That's just the position
yeah.
these days, though, isn't it? The way the position's materialised over time.
Yeah, but we don't ask that. Whenever we play a defensive player as a fullback, we don't ask the same of them. We don't expect Dan Burn to be getting assists and doing crosses and things, but then we expect it from Trippier and Lewis Hall. So
yeah,
it was solid, but not really enough time to impact stuff really for me.
Okay, and finally Eddie Howe, Billy.
I don't see what else he could have done. No, he
I don't actually.
Rotated the squad. He made the changes when he needed to try and increase the impetus of attack. I'll give us 7.5.
Okay. I've given him a 7. Alex?
Yeah, I'll go with a 7. Whether people like it or not, he had to rotate and change a lot of things. He's got to give people minutes, keep people happy, and make sure we've got a fresh, strong 11 for Everton. I think he did the right thing.
I can't believe we actually had people. Well, I can't believe, but people on Matchday Live calling for his head again. I found that extremely incredible, given that he did what we wanted. He changed it up. Listen, job done at the end of the day. We got through, whether we liked the performance or not. It was always going to be a rough performance
Eddie
for me.
Did he? I mean, Eddie apologised and said we wanted a bit more, and I think we all agree with that. We did want a bit more, but
it's up to the players on the pitch at the end of the day. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so that's the player ratings done and dusted and gone now for Wimbledon. Next player ratings will, of course, be Sunday evening when we do the Everton review. Now, there's been quite a few comments in the chat already asking how Susan is. There's still no change, unfortunately. Susan is still very poorly, bedridden at the moment, and in a lot of pain. We still haven't heard from urology yet as to what they're going to do with these kidney stones. She's drinking loads of fluids, but unfortunately nothing's happening yet with removing them. So she's going to contact them, I think, tomorrow. So she's not very happy about things, but she's still quite poorly, guys. But thank you very much for all your messages. She really does appreciate it. And just one other thing about Susan, while she's been bedridden, she has started a new YouTube channel. And it's a very interesting YouTube channel. This is the billboard for it. She started on Murder Mystery Files. And basically what this does is it covers really like haunting murder mysteries that have happened in the past and looks into them. And our first video is about 3-4 minutes long. It's about Tupac and his murder. So it's excellent. And what I'm saying is, if you're into all this crime stuff, murder mystery, go and give it a subscribe, because she's going to keep this going. The videos are, like I say, they don't take up a lot of time, so it just explains. The Tupac one is brilliant. She's already working on her second one already. So the link to Susan's new channel is right at the top of the description, and then you've got the Football Content Awards after that as well. So if you like murder mystery and you like YouTube, please go and give Susan a subscribe. It'll really cheer her up as well, given how she is at the minute. So just click on it and have a watch of the Tupac video, and please do subscribe to our channel, because she's trying to build that. She's wanting to expand on YouTube, and I think she's found her niche with this one. So please do go and give it a subscribe. Thank you, everybody, for that. Right. Sorry, Billy?
I love that kind of stuff. Really,
yeah.
I mean, I'm constantly watching murder mystery stuff on telly, so yeah, I love that.
Well, she's put it together brilliantly. The Tupac one, it explains when it happened, the investigation, and then obviously they found out who did it and etc. And she's put it all into like a 4-minute video with subtitles on, so people who can't hear can understand it as well. So it's really, really good. And I think it's a good niche, Billy, because I think a lot of people are into all that, the crime stuff of the past, and all these investigations and things like that. So yeah, go and give it a subscribe, guys. That's pinned right at the top of the description. Okay, now then, Everton away, of course, Goodison Park. And Alex, I believe you've been watching a few of the Everton fan channels, and you're kind of a bit in disbelief with them at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Everton fans had improved, but I'm a bit surprised by some of the dribble I've heard from dribble. I think both are appropriate. It's some of it's been weird. Some of what's been said on two
Yeah.
occasions. There were channels who went, "Well, we won't really talk about the Anthony Gordon one," and then proceeded to talk about it for 5 minutes, and then went, "Oh, well, he was going to go to Chelsea the summer before he came to them in the January, and I think it was both for best parties." And and then that just dross, and they hadn't done very good research either, because they looked into our games and said we forced Spurs to play long balls against us all game, and it didn't work.
Well, clearly
And we had a no. They said that we played with such a ferocious press that we made Spurs go long, and that's how we beat them. And obviously, that's not what we did. We basically parked 11 men behind the ball and had some clinical counter attacks. We didn't. They didn't watch the game clearly, so they've. Some of the Everton channels not done very good research on this match, so I'm not quite sure what they're expecting to witness at the weekend. But yeah, it wasn't poor viewing. I will try to give you guys a bit more of the truth and be balanced, because Everton have some dangerous players and we do have to give them some credit, but we will be fair.
Well, credit, fair enough. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about Everton Football Club, but I think a lot of people do now. They're known as the Scouse Mackems, basically. But Billy, they've had a pretty dreadful start of the season. Of course, they did beat Crystal Palace last time out, which will give them, I guess, a bit of confidence. But again, they fell behind in that game. They weren't playing very well. The crowd turned very quickly on them before they got back in the game. So I think that might be an important thing for us, is to maybe take the crowd out of it.
That's the main thing at Goodison Park, is the crowd. They're such an intimidating lot. It's probably the worst time to be playing them, though. We will have a bit of confidence about them. They beat Palace. However, they were quite fortunate in doing so. Two bits from Dwight McNeil. One was a deflected shot that went in. They're not the greatest side in the world. They are near the bottom for a reason. Very much a long ball, hoof it and seat kind of team. I think if we stand strong at the back, I think we can get a good result out of this one.
I mean, what gets me, Alex, is that on paper they've got some very good players there, but as gelling as a team, they don't seem to do that. The main thing about Everton this season is they've struggled to hang on to leads, haven't they? And especially, the ones that stand out of the two games in a row that they gave up a 2-goal lead and lost 3-2. They just don't seem to combine that very well as a team. And I think Sean Dyche might be feeling his collar a little bit right now.
Possibly. I think there's a lot of context. I don't think there's. I think they've gelled a little bit more. I don't think they've been as awful as people are maybe suggesting. I think the lack of Branthwaite has been a massive issue. Ashley Young being 95 years old is also a bit of an issue. Mikolenko not playing his best football. The other centre halves have been a bit meh. Tarkovsky's normally pretty solid. It's not terrible. They've got a reasonable balance. McNeil is coming to his own now. A lot of people have just been bashing McNeil for years. I've always liked Dwight McNeil, and he's only 24 now. And funnily enough, starting to play some really, really tidy football. He's always been that kind of raw dribbler. Now he looks a bit more, he's scoring a few more goals. He's gotten involved a lot more this season. And they've got Branthwaite back into this side. They've just come off a win. Or it wasn't a flattering win for them. They got out-XG'd, outshot. But they got the win. There's momentum for them. Well, if you can call one win momentum, I guess it is to a point, and they'll have slightly more positive spirits. So this is probably. Would they want to play us now? Probably not. They would. I mean, their next game is Ipswich away, so they would have probably preferred something like that. So they could get momentum.
I think you're right, because I think the time to play us would have been before Man City. Take the Wimbledon game out of it, because it's going to be a very, very different 11. The game against Man City, Billy, obviously that 11, confident, strong, the press was there. And I think if we go out with that same attitude, I think we beat Everton. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's all about attitude. I think we've got to be on the front foot, and I think we've got to go at them from minute one. Not starting for 5 minutes and dropping off and letting them come on to us. Can't allow Everton any kind of footway into the game. I think we've got to be aggressive. I think they're going to be aggressive, so I think we have to fight fire with fire. And I think our footballing ability will be what wins the game for us. Yeah,
it's the away form as well, isn't it, Bill? Because the away form hasn't been good, and obviously the last time out, Fulham, we were dreadful, and everybody was saying, that the away form just still isn't good. We haven't played well away for. Yes, we've won games this season. Absolutely, we have. But we there's just something missing away from home.
Going back to Villa Park, aren't we? Villa last year was the last time we really played well away, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's a long time ago, but I think the attitude has to be there now. The confidence should be there after the game last week. So, yeah, there's no reason why we can go there and kind of be worried about the result, because I think if we play to our best ability with the right attitude, I think we'll win. 100% we will.
Now, Martin's just saying there in the chat, just heard Branthwaite is possibly injured. I did see a report today saying he was doubtful. He did come back last week, but he apparently was extremely off the pace. Certainly first half. I'm not sure about the second, but I guess we'll see on Saturday. I think a big thing, though, for Saturday's game, Alex, is discipline, isn't it? Because we know how Everton like to play against Newcastle, and they like to rough it up. We saw some... the last couple of times we've been there, we've seen some pretty dreadful tackles coming in on our players, and Everton players kind of getting away with it. If you look to the Longstaff tackle, that was a shocker. And there's been so many. So Everton will put on the physicality again because it works for them. So the likes of Joe Linton, etc., have got to be extremely disciplined and not kind of see the red mist.
Yeah, agreed. We've got to be cool, calm, collected. We need to just play better football than them. It's not one that we have to win with brute force. They're a poor side when it comes to possession. They've got the lowest stats in the league for accurate passes per 90. They're in dead last for possession. Last.
You've
passes.
got some graphics there?
I have, yeah, if you want to see some.
Yeah, let's get them on. Let's get them on. There you go.
All right. So this is Everton's data so far this season. Goals conceded per match, they're in 19th with 2.5 goals conceded per match on average. Shots on target per match is 3.2, which is almost as high as decent strikers get per 90 with 3 matches per 90. Important data there is average possession so far this season, 37.2. So we should be taking the Lions' share of possession. If we're not, there's a problem.
I think this boils back to what Billy said just earlier, Alex, about us taking the game to them and going at them, because you can see by that possession stats. And if we go there and sit back and let Everton have the majority of the ball, that tells me that that's not the right way to play Everton, given that percentage of possession.
We should treat this as a grown-up version of Wimbledon, with all due respect to Wimbledon. That Everton are going to do something slightly similar at a Premier League level. So we need to make sure we play better. We need our technicians on the pitch. We need our Trippiers, Tonali's, Brunos, Lewis Halls. We need better, more intricate passing. We need people to be on the same page. We can't have that final move breaking down. And we could do with a bit of luck, maybe a long shot going in, or we could do with that as well. We don't want to get this scrappy because it will start to come down to concentration. If it's 0-0 at half time and it starts to still 0-0, or maybe if they score, we need to be careful. We need to make sure we get a few goals and we start controlling this game. We're good for it. We've started scoring. Gordon looks fitter. Everybody looks a bit happier. And again, just to back my point up, average passes per match, Everton are down in 20th as well, with 237.2 per game. So they do not like having the ball. The ball is, I don't know, they don't like it for some reason. One thing we do
just
need...
a quick message to Amber. She's just basically got a dad to type in the chat, wondering where Sam is. She's back tomorrow, Amber, so she'll be back. So you can see your hero then. She'll be back on TTR Friday. Sorry, Alex, carry on, mate. So
their offensive stuff that we need to be careful of is these two things here. They are top of the league for accurate long balls per match, so they will play hoofball. Accurate crosses per match, they're third in the league.
Sean Dyche, never. Yeah.
Indeed. Defensive stuff, they are second in the league for interceptions. So they have a shape, they have a structure. Their out of possession structure is okay. That they read the game well. Everybody kind of steps up, and Idrissa Gana Gaze is a talented player who played for PSG. They've got players who have been players previously, and that's not discrediting them now. But we have to treat them with that respect. And possession one in the final third is a lot higher than I thought. Again, small sample sizes, but it does give you a little insight as to how they play. Previous matches, this is the Palace game that they just won. So obviously Branthwaite being in that back four has significantly helped. Dwight McNeil is starting to come into his own. I think this is probably his proper breakout season now as a 24-year-old, even if it's in this side. He's got a good setup for it. He's the main guy in behind a big striker. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to try and run and start counters and run in channels. So it could be interesting. We've got to keep an eye on him because he's very happy at the moment and wants to play football. So we don't want to get a position where Bruno is maybe caught further upfield and you've got Dwight McNeil just running at the back four. We do not want that with maybe Calvert-Lewin drifting wide or in a channel or trying to... We cannot put ourselves in that situation because whether you think Everton are bad or not is irrelevant. Dwight McNeil is a good footballer on the run. You've got to be careful of him because we will get punished. Again, we've got to be careful. Although people make jokes about Ashley Young and Mikolenko maybe isn't quite as good as we thought he was going to be, they're still competent crossers of the ball. They're reasonably fast. We have to show respect with this. We have to make sure we're careful with those crosses that come in because, again, they're third in the league for crosses. They have Calvert-Lewin, who's good at heading the ball.
I'm not sure I'd use reasonably fast for Ashley Young, Alex. I mean, what I would say for Ashley Young is he's purely a shithouse.
He's a shithouse, yeah.
So
yeah, but you've got to remember, if I'm talking about Byrne doing a covering run,
well, I mean,
then Ashley Young's quite fast. But compared to that,
fair enough. Yeah.
Key to it for Everton last week was they took Lingwood off at half time, brought Jack Harrison on, and looked a completely different side.
Yeah, Jack Harrison has got a lot of energy. Of course, we've reviewed Jack Harrison in previous transfer shows when he was still at Leeds as a potential option. He's got energy, pace. He's a good crosser. It was kind of that dynamism. We went kind of a different route. We went down the kind of Barnes route, but yeah, these are the average positions. It's basically, so 32 is Jared Branthwaite. For people who don't know, it's basically, Jared, can you keep an eye on the back door, please? And we'll go try and make things happen. So yeah, they really missed him. He's back. Tarkowski is no slouch at all. You know, he was capped at England level. He's been around for donkey's years. Got to be careful of him with his, you know, he can be a bit cheeky sometimes, can be a bit dirty.
He should have been sent off last week and a penalty given away, yeah.
I've got a lot of memories of stamping and spitting, and he's not the nicest bloke. So, I was going to say I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but no, I'm going to say he's not because you don't spit on people if you're a nice man, and he's not. So,
both 456. Thank you for your super chat. Pawson is the ref. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately, Craig Pawson is indeed the referee. That does not bode well, especially if it's going to be a physical game.
Yeah, he's the worst for that, yeah.
He is not the referee we kind of want for this kind of game, but unfortunately, he is.
Well, this is their game against Leicester. I think this was a 1-1. Mavadidi doing some bits in this game. Again, they've gone for the same thing. They've got a system. They just needed Jared Branthwaite back, and he is back. Decore, Mangala, of course, Garner Gay in there as well. Wingers with Ndai, or is that how we say it, Ndai? I wasn't as thrilled against him against Palace. He's okay. He's good. It's somebody we've got to show respect to. Especially, it depends who's going to play at right back for us, whether it's Trippier or Livramento. I would highly assume it's going to be Kieran Trippier, being as Livramento started against Wimbledon. But yeah, you can see this is very, very similar. Average positions, if we have a look at Everton, is a little bit different, to be fair. But again, there's no Branthwaite, so they've had to go a bit further back. Mikolenko, Ashley Young's left back. Oh God, what a mess! You can see why they keep losing. It's just square pegs in round holes a lot of the time.
Let's not forget Gareth Southgate played Ashley Young as a left back in the 2018 World Cup.
I mean, this might as well be I don't even know what this is supposed to be, but yeah, this doesn't indicate what formation they play because it could be very different out of possession versus on the ball. But you can see what their plan is. Their plan is, whether it's wingers or fullbacks, get some crosses in, lads. Hoof the ball up to Calvert-Lewin and see if Dwight McNeil can link up with Calvert-Lewin and do some runs. It's basically that, and hopefully the middle two can be quite solid. It's quite old school. It's very logical. It doesn't mean we can beat it though. We have to do our due diligence, and we have to make sure we break them down carefully. So I think an important thing is going to be who we start.
Nathan, thank you very much for your super chat, mate. Very kind. Thank you. Listen, if I was Eddie Howe, I'd just start the same 11.
Stop keepers, put Pope in, and that's
why is Dubravka still there?
God,
Alex.
So sorry, everyone.
God.
Let's move him over there. He's injured now, so it's fine. He can go up in the corner. Where have I put Pope? Nick, where have you gone? I've lost Nick Pope.
It's hiding somewhere.
Can anybody? Can we play Where's?
Wow, this is like where's Wally, isn't it?
People in the chat. Where's Nick Pope? Help me.
Where the hell is he?
Oh, there he is. Got him. Got him.
Oh yes, finally. By the way, Foxy says and Dye has been Everton's positive for the season so far. Tim Rogi Bunham, decent young. Sorry.
You're watching the zone, looks like.
Billy, it's not Friday. Shut up. Decent young signing for them as well. I haven't seen a lot of Everton this season, I must admit.
People saying Branthwaite is out. Okay, we've got FOTMob's suggestion of who's available. It is that. So that is all we get from a website. It might not be true. So Amanda Braja, Patterson, Seamus Coleman, and Chermity. Yusuf Chermity.
I mean, if he's out, then it's a bonus for us, isn't it? Because we know that Tarkovsky and Keane, incredibly, I think they've only played 5 or 6 games together after playing together for so long, of course, at Burnley. But listen, having Branthwaite back was a massive bonus for them. So if he is out, then it can only benefit us.
100%.
But I don't see him changing the starting 11 from last week. There's no need to change the starting 11.
I agree.
No, agreed.
100% agree. No one deserves to be dropped for the performance last week. They're all outstanding.
And remember what Eddie said, Billy, in his press conferences as well, mate. He said that, you play well, you stay in the team. Everybody played well last week. Therefore, he's got to keep the same team, surely.
100%. You couldn't agree more. It's the perfect balanced side for me.
Well, I think we do need to make sure the technicians are in the pitch. Everything I've been banging this drum about the Wimbledon game. We need people who can play the killer pass, the decent final ball, the decent cross. So we need Kieran Trippier on the pitch. We need Sandro Tonali on the pitch. We need Bruno on the pitch, and we need Lewis Hall on the pitch from minute one. Because those are the 4.
What's important for me, Alex? What's important for me is those 3 in midfield. Like I just said before, is their discipline, because we know that Joe Linton's got a fiery temper. Bruno has, and Tonali certainly likes to rough it up. So it's important that yes, be physical, but be physical to a certain point and don't get involved in any afters or nastiness, or just keep your tempers and let the football do the talking.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've got to be careful not to get overconfident as well, because this is what happened against Fulham. Is we got into some nice attacks again. We don't want to get into a position where Gordon starts floating over with Barnes. Joe Linton decides to join this kind of mess and maybe does an overlap. Hall's kind of sat here. Bruno's there. Tonali's there. Murphy's maybe done a run. And then all of a sudden, if we lose the ball, and maybe Trippier's up there with Murphy, and we're kind of pinning him in here, and all of a sudden there's a turnover and there's just a nice ball over the top there, or a nice ball over the top here, and all of a sudden people start backtracking and Bruno's quite slow. And this is a position we've seen all too often of kind of this kind of profile of player just being run at. Whether it's 1 or 2 of the opposition, I don't want to see that. I want us to be careful. We need to appreciate, if Joe Linton's going to decide he's going to go to the byline, if he's got a job to do, somebody's got to recognise that and fill in. We've got to be so careful. And likewise on the opposite side, if Trippier is going to go to the byline, which he does, and Murphy's going to be there, maybe Tonali's at the edge of the box because he wants to have a shot, all of a sudden you've got Fabian Schär. Concerning on the counter. I think and this is something we just keep getting bitten with. It happened against Fulham straight away. And it's been
that's where discipline comes into it, Alex. So we've got to be disciplined when we go forward, so that we don't overcommit like that. Of course, Joe Linton's on 4 yellow cards as well. I don't think it's discipline necessarily. I think it's just recognizing what's going on around you. Concentration as well.
Yeah, there's no reason Joe Linton can't make that run, but the others have got to appreciate. Look, if we lose the ball now, lads, that big hole there is going to get. We've got an issue. So it's just more understanding that.
I mean, Fulham, they were able to kind of get through that, But Everton aren't Fulham. They don't play football. They're a hoof side.
But it doesn't matter to a point.
It does, because you've got to kind of get the number 10 in the game with the ball at his feet. They're not interested in that, are they? They're not interested in that. They're looking for high balls, flick-ons to him. Simple
But
as that,
all they would need to do is that first out ball needs to get lucky, which people do. You know, we say Ricochet plays with the opposite team. That first out ball does is need to miss one of our centre halves and Dwight McNeil to go on a 50-yard run with a bit of support around him. It doesn't have to be pretty. I agree, Billy, 100%. They've not got as much quality on the counter as Fulham have. But Dwight McNeil is more than capable of running at our centre halves.
It's not even just that, though. I mean, they don't even play football, do they? That's not
I
even
agree,
in the
Billy.
remit.
I think if we take McNeil out of the game, I don't think Everton have anything else, to be honest. He's their main man this season. I think if we keep him quiet and...
I think he needs man marking. I think regardless if Bruno's decided to go, somebody needs to rotate that job and do not let Dwight McNeil out of your sight. And somebody needs to have a go at Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. We can close most of their attacking threats down just by...
I think they play 11 man behind the ball, if I'm perfectly honest, while we're in possession. I don't think they're as much of a threat. And unless Dwight McNeil develops a supersonic engine in his legs, I don't think it's as much nowhere near as a threat.
You know what it is? I was just thinking, though, Billy, you're right, because I can see Dyche looking at that Wimbledon game and thinking, right, when we defend like that.
I mean, he should look at
Newcastle.
Unfortunately, that isn't Sean Dyche's remit at all, is it? Never has been, never will be.
No. Alex Dewar says Kelly instead of Burn for me. Just saying, and I'm a Burn fan. Listen, I think long term, I think Kelly is going to come through in that position. When he moved to centre back.
Well, I mean, Sven Botman's that he's got that position, but yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot about him. Look, Kelly for me he looked a lot better when he went to centre back. And Billy, we said this in commentary on Tuesday night. He looked better when he went to centre back. He looked very accomplished, on the ball, without the ball as well, just shepherding the ball out for goal kicks, and he looked much more confident in that position.
Well, accomplished is the right word. I think he's got pace. He reads the game excellently well. He all seemed to be where the ball was when a ball came through. He kind of read it really well. Got pace, good in the air, strong, everything you want from a centre back. I agree with Sato. Sven Botman will be the man there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Lord Kelly, can he play on the right side? Maybe, I don't know. But definitely more of a centre back than a left back, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So I think we're all agreed on the start 11 again this week, guys. It's becoming a bit of a habit. This.
Should we build a bench so we can argue against? I mean, I agree. I think, yeah. I mean, who's on the bench? Longstaff is probably the first name on the bench for Eddie Howe.
Vlachodimos should be there if Dubravka's injured, which I think he is. So
I agree.
Obviously, Miggy's going to be there.
9.
Yeah.
Miggy on the bench is 3.
Willock, Asula, Kelly, and Livramento.
Where's Kelly? Kelly,
Kraft.
Kraft. That's 8. We need one more.
And then Alex Murphy. That's been the way he's gone so far. Yeah.
You've got Sanusi, Target if
Target's back. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe if Target's back. Well, yeah, if Target's back, he'll be on the bench. If not, it'll be Alex Murphy.
Is Isaac potentially back?
No, I said he was out, Billy. Although then again, I mean, yeah. Callum Wilson's apparently back for the game on the 19th, guys. The game after well, that's a very good question. But apparently he's going to be back for the first game after the international break. So I expect Callum Wilson to break down with an injury in training during the international break.
Let me just have a look and see if I can find this Branthwaite injury.
Gallagher Brown has been a member for an incredible 24 months. Thank you very much for your support. Can't think of a better place to turn our away form around. Love it if Gordon can bang a few in. How are the lads? I mean, he's going to get some stick, isn't he? But I think he'll thrive on that, Billy.
Well, yeah, he'll be determined to kind of do things, won't he? And he's got the right attributes to really trouble that Everton middle two through the centre with his pace. As long as we can give him the right sort of service, like we did last week. Man, that's Bruno's little cute through balls through scheming. Then I expect him to go on the score sheet. Yeah, I agree.
Joe Wilkinson said it's a thigh injury picked up in training, Alex, apparently.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Everton accounts kind of suggesting that he is injured, but he might still play.
It's a big risk, though, if he is carrying a knock and they play him, especially after he's been out for so long. There was a lot of comments last week saying that he didn't look himself for the majority of the game. He looked slow, but obviously it was his first game back after a long time out. So I think he played for the under-23s during midweek, and then he played for Everton against Palace. But look, I think either way, we've got to get at that back line. The back line isn't blessed with a lot of pace, in my opinion. It's something that we can definitely overcome. If Gordon continues through the channels, Murphy's going to be important. So is Harvey Barnes, and then pushing on from midfield. I just think we've got too much for them if we turn up like we did against City, Bill.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. More footballing ability, more pace, more structure, attacking structure. If we turn up with the right attitude, then I can't see us coming away with less than 3 points. I really can't.
Yeah. By the way, Foxy just put a comment on that. I was going to mention that Isaac Hayden played against Halifax for the under-21s the other day.
They won too, didn't they?
They did. Is it under-21s or under-23s? It's 23s these days, isn't it?
It's the EFL Cup, isn't it? Is that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Dave says, I'm hoping Gordon plays better than he did at Goodison last season. It seemed to get in his head. Wasn't he on the bench?
No, what happened last season was we swapped Isaac and Gordon halfway through the first half with 1 down, started creating chances, and then swapped it straight back again. I thought Eddie
swapped it back again. Yeah.
Last year Everton weren't great, I've got to say.
Yeah. Anthony says, Eddie needs to make sure we play. Eddie needs to make sure we play that we be very disappointed if we sit off them and don't press. Gilles says, can we do it away from home, though? We never do well away. The time is now, Gilles. The time is now. Kevin says, 2 seconds, Alex. Kevin says, we can't go behind in this game. We'll crumble and the crowd will be loud. We have to score first if we want to win this game. Go on, Alex.
I mean, apart from all the other times Everton have crumbled, but yeah. But no, I do agree. It's a fair comment. Yeah, we do need to make sure we don't let the crowd get behind them because their crowd is similar to what our crowd is like. And I think Gordon specifically has got to be careful of that because his pressing against Man City when you're at home is fantastic. If you don't quite win the ball, you get a cheer. When you're in an away ground, if you don't quite win the ball, you get laughed at. So we've got to make sure that his head is screwed on properly, and he's not can't let your head drop because he's going to do a lot of pressing in that game. That's not going to result in anything, and that's just part and parcel of pressing. I'm afraid it's football. He's going to do a lot of pressing that again is just he's going to get laughed at, and he's going to get funny cheers and jeers from the Everton fans, and he's going to have to crack on with that and keep going, do what he says with his visualization. We've got to press as a unit, and they will make a mistake at some point because Pickford's good for that. So
yeah, and the referee's got to be alert from minute one because the first thing they're going to do is kick Gordon. That'll get
Billy. You're talking about Craig Pawson here, mate.
I know, but I mean the crowd are going to get straight off. If Tarkowski
absolutely will
in the first 2 minutes, then the Everton crowd are going to be baying for a bit, aren't they? They'll be up for that unless the referee takes control early doors. Yeah.
Wacky says if things look dicey on Saturday, you can always strap an eco protester to the post to delay the game. No. We don't want that because we were on top in that game. We were dominating that game until that happened, and then it went to shit. Stay away, oil protesters, and especially ones with big glasses and look like serial killers.
Trying to cut it off. He's like,
oh, God. Yeah, there you go. There's the man who cut it off. He's right there. God almighty, that's scary how much you look like him there, Billy, with them false teeth in. Bloody Nora. Yeah. Alex, you were going to say something there?
No, I can tell you that image has definitely cleared my brain or whatever.
It completely knocks you off your game. There you go. Just before we give our predictions, guys, I just want to quickly mention the news on St. James's Park. What did you make of it, Billy?
Quite pleased, actually. I think the fact they're going to renovate St. James's Park and make it a much better stadium as long as they get the planning permission. I think that's what we all want, isn't it? I think we want
£1 billion.
Well, £1 billion. It's going to cost them 3 times that for a new stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times that for a new stadium. So why not spend the billion on the one we've already got and make it kind of what we need it to be? I don't see any problem with that whatsoever.
Anthony, that's a very bold statement to make. Wow. Okay. Fair enough, mate. Alex, what do you think? I'm a lot of people are making assumptions that some of the news is coming in that maybe it's trying to butter us up for a new stadium, but I don't see that. I see that St James's Park's getting just developed.
I saw it was Ben that put that on Twitter. I kind of agree. I agree. I think they are slowly getting us used to the idea that this might be a good idea. I think they want a new stadium. I think that's what this is gearing up for. I think they were willing to entertain
on social media
idea.
with people doing this AI build of the new St James's Park and just off it into Leazes Park. I think the one I saw today, which looked quite nice actually.
I think this has all been, they were entertaining us for a while, saying, look, we'll look into it, probably no, but we'll look into seeing what we can do. But with all the difficulties, I think it was always going to be a no. I think we all knew that deep down. I think it's nailed on for a new stadium. I think I'll be shocked if we get St James's Park improved. Absolutely shocked.
Well, I mean, I don't want to leave St James's. I've got to be honest. I don't want to. It all depends on what they can do. I'm sure the first port of call will be looking to redevelop St James's Park, seeing what they can do for that avenue. If that fails or there is no constructive way of doing it, then yes, I think a new stadium will then be pushed forward.
And for people asking about prices, Spurs was $1 billion, Everton was 700 million. So that gives you the ballpark. You're in that kind of realm. And if we want to build something that's best in class, if we want to try and rival Old Trafford, well, in capacity, not in anything else, then yeah.
Towers.
Yeah. Ruffiad Benissian says if we have to update the stadium, attendances would be down during update impact PSR. I think they will go to a new stadium. George says that they haven't made the mind up yet. The decision will be made early next year.
I think the decision was probably made a while ago. I think the decision has already been made.
George, that they're just trying to little sniffer dogs going around trying to just soften us up for some kind of new stadium announcement, or
as long as it's not like out in the middle of nowhere in an industrial estate somewhere, like all these identical stadiums of the past, like 20 years have been. It's got to be in the city centre somewhere. It really has, and it's got to be a very.
They have got the money for it, so.
Well, the money's definitely there. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Right, okay.
They have said, I think they told The Athletic, was it The Athletic? They told someone, and this is a quote from a spokesperson of theirs somewhere, that it needs to be profitable and sustainable. They're not just going to build it for the sake of building it. It's got to be functional, fit for purpose, and it's got to bring the money back. It can't just be a money pit.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what happens with that, but let's move on to predictions. Alex, we'll start with you tonight.
3-0. Anything else, I feel like, is a disappointment. All goal scorers.
Hang on a minute. Billy, is that some sort of world record for Alex to give his score prediction? Because that's taken me blind there. Wow.
He's clearly very, very clear in what he wants and what he thinks we're going to get, so I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Who's
your goal scorers?
I think Gordon will open the scoring and make them all miserable. And I think Tonali will get one. And I'll go with Joe Linton. Maybe off a Dan Burn header back across goal. Maybe the 78th time we try it might result in a goal. So I think 3-0. I think the way they're playing, I think they were lucky to get a win against Palace. The way we've just played against Man City with everybody available apart from Isak, I think anything but a reasonable win and convincing win is not good enough.
Joe Wilkinson's going 3-0, Marcus 3-0, LG 1-0, Anthony 5-0, Steve Cook 3-0, James Ansell 2-1, Baz Down Under's going with 2-0. A 2-0 win would not be a disappointment, says Kevin. 7-0 says Mark Cooper, 6-1 says Peter. 2-0 says Paul. Ruffiad Benissian 3-1. Yvonne's going 2-1. Colin Simpson 12-0. Really, Colin? Have you been on that smoky stuff again? Ian A 2-1 to us. Mark Singleton 3-2. George 1-0. Paul Marsh 3-0. PL Rich 2-0. Trevor McDonald 3-2 to Newcastle. I can't be done with another. Oh, look, can you imagine with 2-0 down and we come back to win 3-2? Jeez. Julie says 1-0. Niall 1-0. Paul Taylor 5-0. 2-1 Mick J. 2-0 Matt Smith. Bloody hell. I don't think I've seen Borky's going 1-1, but I've not seen anybody predicting an Everton win. Billy.
I'm going to be a little bit more conservative than stats. I want to say 2-0 Newcastle. However, if we score really early doors, it could be any score. Seriously, I think if we get the first goal early, you could be looking at 4 or 5. But I'm going to say 2, just to be conservative for a change.
Yeah. Well, I'll do my usual stuff then. I'll go bang in the middle of used to, and I'll go for 4-0. So we've got a 2-0, 3-0, and 4-0, right? So let's just.
How is that bang in the middle of it? I'm confused.
It can't be 2.5 That's to be fair.
Yeah, so I've gone a little bit higher, but that's maybe it's not bang in the middle, but you know what? You get the gist. So we've gone a 2-0, 3-0, and 4-0. We can't go wrong this time, surely. Surely we can't go wrong.
I think we've got everything covered. Watch it be 1-0 now or 5-0.
Can I do a little update on the Stato ratio, by the way? Because we've got, obviously, Susan's a bit preoccupied at the moment, bless us. So we'll sort that out at some point in the future. But for those who don't know the Stato ratio, that is the points per game on average over the last, I think, 6 seasons I went back to qualify for the Champions League and get a 4th place finish. It's 1.82 points per game. We are currently on 1.83. So we're on it. We're on the
Champions League, ladies and gentlemen.
We're on pace. We're on pace for a 4th place finish.
We are indeed.
We just need to keep it going.
That's the big if, isn't it? But there you go, guys. That is the review done and dusted for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are back with TTR Friday tomorrow at 7. Of course, we've got press conference reaction live at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning as well. So don't forget to join us for that. And we'll talk about the major talking points and what Eddie had to say, etc., etc. So that's at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then 7 o'clock tomorrow night, TTR Friday. And then 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon will be Match Day Live, commentary from me and Billy on the big game. Alex with analysis. Hopefully it's 3 points and a stuffing for Everton. But we will have to wait and see. But that is it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for your super chats, etc. And we'll see you all, first of all, at 11 in the morning, and then, of course, 7 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, and good night.
Shove that toffee right up your ass.
Come back.